Hello, Math 107 students. This course intro video will introduce you to MyMathLab, which is an interactive and educational site. And this is where you'll be doing your online homework, where you'll be reading your textbook if you don't have a physical textbook, and also where you'll be taking your 2 major exams for the semester. So once you register, you would just sign in by hitting this button. There's a couple of things you do need to register. So let me just click here on student. And it leads you through the 3 things that you need, which is a valid email address, the course ID for this particular course, which I'll show you where you find that, and then an access code. So if you have an access code because you've bought one somewhere else other than going directly through the publisher, this is where you would enter it. Now, I do want to mention that if you have financial aid, you have to get your access code through the bookstore. However, Pearson, the publisher of MyMathLab, offers a less expensive version of this site in the book for 18 weeks. So that may be something you want to think about. If we go back to our Moodle section and we scroll down to the orientation week, you'll notice right here is MML registration instructions. MML stands for MyMathLab. So if you open that up, you'll get a PDF, and that PDF will tell you all the steps you need to register for MyMathLab. Okay, and number 4 right here, this is the instructor's course ID, Kavanaugh 41917. So this tells you everything you need to know and how to sign in later. Also, you can get a temporary access to full course access for about 2 weeks if you are short on money or you are waiting for a check to come in. You can get 2 weeks free. All right, let's take a look at the site itself. So I've gone in now and clicked on our e-textbook. Let me show you where that is. Let's see, let me sign in here so I can show you where that is. So I'm going to do a quick sign in and into our course. And this is what the menu looks like. Most students only go into this homework section, which is unfortunate because you're missing all of the resources that are available to you in MyMathLab. So let's take a look at each of these sections pretty quickly. Homework, you can see here are your homework assignments with their due dates in the left-hand column. Now, again, this video was made for a spring semester. If you were in a fall semester, these due dates would be in September. But you can see the first homework assignment is the orientation homework, and that's just an orientation to help you get around MyMathLab, you know, what buttons you press here and how you may do something like exponents, use parentheses, etc. And then notice your first 3 homework assignments for week number 2 are all due on exactly the same date, the next Sunday. So this is how your homework works. You'll click on a particular section and there are your questions, okay? The test section here is where I'll put in your midterm and final exam. You don't have to think about that right now. Your grade book shows you your scores for each of your homework assignments, but I want to focus a little bit here on the e-textbook. The e-textbook has a table of contents, and let's suppose we wanted to go into the very first chapter, which is called the prerequisite chapter. This is the first lesson of the course. It's sections P2 through P6. And P2 here is exponents and scientific notation. Now, maybe some of you who have had math recently won't need to spend a lot of time reading this section. But for some of you for whom you've been away from algebra for a while, you may want to spend a little more time reading and taking notes on these sections so that you can feel like it's at your fingertips when it's needed throughout the course. But one section I really want to point out to you that I find a lot of students weak in is the factoring section. So let's take a look at that real briefly. So the factoring section starts you off with the idea of factoring, and it's going to take you through the different forms of factoring. But one of the things I want to point out is on page 72. Page 72, if we go to 72, has a strategy for factoring any polynomial. And it's a series of steps that I think would be a great set of instructions to put in your notebook for using throughout the course. Okay, let's come back here to our site. Now, again, the multimedia library is another place you can go to get resources. And they have everything from videos to multimedia textbook information, animations, guided visualizations. So let's say you wanted some help with factoring. You would just go in here and say, okay, I'm in chapter P, the prerequisites, and I want to go into factoring polynomials. And let's say I want to look at some animations. So you do Find Now. And here are the various videos that you could read for factoring. So let's suppose you wanted some help with factoring perfect square trinomials. You would just click on that, and then you would have an interactive video. Okay, you would just hit the play button and you could watch and take notes. So these videos and other resources are available for every section of our course. So if watching the lesson videos that I've recorded isn't enough for you on a particular topic, then use the resources in the multimedia library in MyMathLab. Okay, so that's a quick overview of MyMathLab. I hope that answers your questions. Please let me know if you have any other questions.